Faso take on Mali in the semis. Burkina Faso in the all-white strip with green and red trim, shooting from right to left as we watch on in this first 45. Mali in their traditional green, yellow and red. Interesting to see the approach of these two. Have largely flown out of the blocks in their games thus far. Might be a slightly more cautious first few minutes here. Know just how important the next 90 minutes are. Chance to get through to the final. A few reassuring touches, I'm sure would do these youngsters a world of good. Imperious though they have both looked at points, particularly Burkina Faso, through this competition. It was Mali with most of the ball in the first couple of minutes. Chance for the young Burkinabe players to break away, but as Oscar Barrow watches on the sidelines, pass was mislaid. 53-year-old Oscar Barrow, discreet, talented, rigorous are adjectives used to describe the Burkina Faso head coach. Shaped by humility and hard work. Values rooted in his childhood and reflected by his team. Despite their impressive performances, there's been no hint of arrogance, even as they stretched into the distance in the quarter-final. Never showboated, never took their foot off the gas. It was ultimately quite a harsh final scoreline on Zambia, who held their own for much of that game, rather capitulated late on. Shot there too of Adama Diefla, a fair bit younger than his fellow manager, just 38 years of age, appointed in January last year. Led the Eagles to Morocco after replacing Soumaila Koulibaly. Key figure in Malian football development, built a reputation over the years, known for his tactical approach, focused on technique and possession, staying true to Mali's tradition of producing skilled and technically gifted players. He had to work hard though to find a way past that Tunisia side. Led through Seydou Dembele's goal. 17-year-old's second of the tournament, but pegged back late on by Aman Ala Touati with 10 minutes to go. And yes, a marathon penalty shootout, which saw them here into the semi-final ultimately. First penalty for Tunisia was missed, but Soumaila Fane also missing Mali's third. From there on, nobody missed. The next 15 found the back of the net. Ultimately, Slim Bouaska missing the crucial 20th, in fact 22nd, sorry, penalty. Of course, 10-9, 3 misses. It was Sheikh Oumar Diarra, the goalkeeper brought on for the shootout, who scored Mali's final penalty. Very much the hero of that quarter-final shootout, but he's watching on as Lamine Sinaba returns between the sticks. Just his second appearance of the tournament. Follow along with the hashtag Total Energies, AFCON U-17. Let us know where you're watching from and who you're cheering on as Burkina Faso break forwards. First time through Tapsoba, looking for his strike partner, Diakite. So only played one game across the group stages, but remains in the setup here for the semi after impressing in the quarter-final. Grabbed a couple of goals himself. Some debate as to whether one was going to be an own goal, but it did officially go down as a Diakite effort. Another hat-trick for Tapsoba. Looking a true superstar of the future. Famous faces watching on that quarter-final. Arsene Wenger even amongst them. Interviewed after the match, he said how impressed he was by Burkina Faso in general, but particularly Tapsoba. Koulibaly can't get that under control. On this occasion, Tapsoba scored 5 during the qualifiers, finishing as joint second top scorer. Now 7 already here. And some pretty special ones amongst them. Long-range cracker to seal the win against South Africa in the groups. Also grabbed a couple of assists. And his second in the opening game against Cameroon from his own half. Mali currently, though, seeing more of the ball, that aforementioned possession-based style, working it patiently from side to side. Fane, though, can't find a way past Abdul Ouedraogo. Gets there first, pounds the turf in frustration or pain, or a mixture of the two. Indeed, the yellow card is produced for Ali Kone. Have to be careful now for over 80 minutes. Not ideal for a centre-back. 15-year-old celebrates his sweet 16th in a little over a week. Nothing sweet about that challenge. Rushing in. Studs up, only lightly catching Bomba, but nonetheless inflicting a fair bit of pain on Mali's number 9. So too alongside him, Koulibaly, the left back, will have to be careful for the whole 90 minutes. Currently 1 yellow card away from a suspension. Neither of them nor anyone else on the pitch will want to miss the final through suspension. Only other player came into this one 1 yellow away from a suspension. Here's Bomba himself for Mali. Less of a cloud hanging over a forward, though. Dembele tries his luck from range, straight from the free kick. Ouedraogo guided it over, extending a hand towards the ball, but clearly comfortable. That one was not going to dip enough to truly trouble him. Pretty well struck. Just a little too much venom on the free kick this time. Darbo's raking ball out to the right is cut out by Lamine Siddiqui Keita. Diakite taps over in the middle, knocks it on instead to Bagiogo. That was a tricky one for Mohamedou Konate. Put it behind, safety first, rightly so. With an on-rushing Burkina Faso player just behind him. It was Youssouf Bawra lurking. Bawra who scored the opener against South Africa. Bagiogo will take. Disappointing corner, in truth. Fails to beat the first man. Well kept in. Was cornered there, Bawra, but in the job, and I wondered for a second if Sinaba was about to be beaten to that. Most assured piece of goalkeeping. He and Mali get away with it. Not that many inside Stade Larbi Zaouli, but they're making quite a noise. Great atmosphere here in Casablanca. Konate back again. Keep close tabs on Youssouf Bawra. There is Bawra. He's having to weather a storm currently. Mali back line. Seeing a lot of the ball early on. Ouedraogo to Bagiogo. It's over Tapsoba and Diakite in the middle. It's kept alive though by Bawra. It's Diakite, Fofana. And it's Alassane Bagiogo. Did well to get to the ball first. And number 10 went for goal with his third touch. Wondered for a second if it was about to dip into the bottom corner. I think so too did Sinaba. That was the moment before. Tapsoba centimetres away from what likely would have been the opener if he got a touch. Sinaba fortunate it reached him at all over the rangy youngster. Plenty of aerial threat despite only having turned 15 a couple of weeks ago. Ashraf Tapsoba. Ouedraogo will take the goal kick. Saved a penalty against South Africa in the final group game. So a couple of big saves to prevent what would have been equalisers at that point. And a far more comfortable day in the quarter-finals. Would have been disappointed not to keep a clean sheet. Only grabbed one in the first 4 games. Youssouf Dabu flying in. Bomba hurdling him. Going down. No appeal in the direction of the referee. shot of Adama Diafla there. Seems almost immune to pressure, the Mali head coach. Always remains composed and methodical. Knows his squad so well. Well equipped for this type of challenge. Does appear to be 3 at the back actually for Mali. I see the setup in action. The front Dembele trying to nick that through the legs of Ali Kone. No such luck. Yeah, it's not the back 4 we were promised, but instead, I think a back 3/5 when required. Camara, Bert and Doumbia, 3 central defenders with Keita and Kanate at wing back. Here's Bomba. Couldn't pick out Dembele. Number 10's done well to stick a foot in and win that back. It's with Bomba. It's up in the air. Just took a little too long there. Mohamed Fofana. Eventually, danger does pass. Ouedraogo gathering up the loose ball. Just dawdling a touch there in his own box. Mohamed Fofana let the ball bounce. See that off the head of Ali Kone, throwing his body in the way of the ball. Looking for Bakayoko with that long ball out to the right wing. Overhit. Background to this match makes it even more compelling. Two sides faced each other rather in 2 friendly matches during their preparations in Bamako for this tournament. There's 1 win for Burkina Faso, 2-1 on that occasion, followed by a 1-1 draw just before travelling here to Morocco. Escobarro, Burkina Faso coach, said we're aware of their strengths. They have some very talented individuals. There's certainly no room for complacency. Pointed out that the Malian squad has changed and so has theirs. So they'll need to adapt, be mentally and tactically sharp. Arsene Wenger in attendance again. Can't get enough of this competition. Some African superstars of the future he's looking to pick out with his own eyes. Ouedraogo does well to get a fist of that, surrounded by players in green and yellow. Momentum swinging back in Mali's favour just a touch at the moment. Bomba lays off the simple pass to his captain, heads back towards the Burkina Faso area. Konate. Dembele. Amadou Traoré sent it back out to the left-hand side. More patient passing, patient build-up play. Traoré now tries to force the issue. Ouedraogo, though, alert to the danger. As somewhat unlikely candidate in Abubakar Camara tried to let the ball run into the area. It's Bomba who was closest to getting there in the end. Centre-back on the edge of the area. Traore again. 15, one of the youngest on the pitch. Only played about 150 minutes in the first 4 games, that though including the full 90 in the quarter-final. A couple of substitute appearances in the group stage. Dembele fires it in. So too, Keita on the other side with his weaker right foot. There is Keita again. Lets it run. Dembele. Burkina Faso this time can tidy up and try and build something themselves. It's ultimately a long ball though from Koulibaly. Might work out. Barra. Firm challenge from Issa Tunkara. Captain leading by example at the back, taking no prisoners in the tackle. Laid off by Diakite. Had to time that right, on the edge of his own area. Timed it to perfection. Taking a chunk of the man with the ball as well. Is still down. Turned 16. This time last week, Barra. Part of the Rahimo FC Academy. All of these players play for Burkina Faso academies, and similarly the Mali 11 all playing in academies in their home country. Adriana Dambre is the exception in the Burkina Faso squad, part of Al Saad Sport Club in Qatar. Just a couple of the Malian substitutes playing in French academies. Quarter of the game gone, deadlock still unbroken. Referee feeling the need to have a word with the 2 number 6s, battling away Tunkara and Fofana. And it's in by Bakayoko. Gonna drop temptingly on the edge of the area. Shot blocked. He'll rebound out to Bakayoko again. Get another chance from the corner. With the challenge. Take 2 for Bakayoko, and well, that was more threatening. Very nearly the opener. It will be another corner. Ali Kone first into the book, nearly first onto the score sheet. Timed his run to perfection. The header too close to Sinaba. He did really well to get anything on that from point-blank range. It's his shoulder in the end, I think. Stayed out, whatever it was that made contact. Mali, though, pinned back currently. Another Burkina Faso corner, this time just over the head of Kone. Sent back in by Barra. It was Mohamed Fofana, the spinning volley. Barrow wins the first header, but not the second. Yusuf Barrow again, sent it out right. Bakayoko, never afraid to run into defender. Be kept in by Diakite, or perhaps not. His header out for a Mali goal kick. Two meetings in the build-up to this competition. Also, these two sides know each other very well. From the most recent edition of the Under-17 AFCON, before this one, met twice during that tournament. It was a 1-0 win for Mali on match day 1 of the 2023 edition. Mamadou Doumbia, now of Watford in England, with the only goal of the game in the first half. And having finished as their group's top 2, both progressed to the knockouts. Each were knocked out in a semi-final penalty shootout. Came together for the third place playoff. Burkina Faso getting their revenge with a 2-1 win. Usman Camara penalty and goal from Apollinaire Bougma, establishing a 2-goal lead early in the second half, and Doumbia's response in the second would prove to be only a consolation. So Burkina Faso with the bronze medal. Both, though, will be looking to go one better, and one will. One of these sides will reach the final this time. We're going to take a penalty shootout to separate them. Burkina Faso might be wary of a shootout, having seen what Mali can do from the spot. 10 of their 11 players scoring their penalties a few days ago. Mentioned Papa Ouedraogo having scored, or rather saved a penalty already in this tournament in open play as well. So much talent, and Tapsoba, who's scored from 12 yards a couple of times himself. They may well back themselves. Way to go before we get to thinking about a shootout. Still over an hour of scheduled open play ahead of us. Tunkara gallops forwards, decides to go for goal himself, just kept rising. Ouedraogo with some firm words for one of his back line. Look to the skies for the Mali captain. Had opened up. See why he fancied the shot. Most proactive there. Straight onto the ball, but straight through to Ouedraogo once again. Burkina Faso can start once more from the back. Don't hold on to possession for long, though. Foul from the captain, Fadil Barrow. Seydou Dembele drawing another foul. He's the oldest in the squad, Dembele. 1 day older than Tiamoko Beat at the back. Both turned 17 in mid-February. Two of the oldest in the competition. And of course, the cut-off date, 1st of January 2008. Free kick we sent in low, and it's, well, missed initially. No harm done. Going to come straight back, though, at the Burkina back line. Here's Bomba, falling as he tried to put his cross in. It's straight back to the feet of the number 9. Gets another opportunity. This one sails on through for a goal kick. Looking for Samuel Fane. Just a bit too much curl on the delivery. Heavy touch from Tapsoba. Rare mistake from the tournament's top scorer. This change of direction from Fane, and he's caught late. Won't quite be enough for a yellow, but another free kick for Mali. Clumsy by Abdul Ouedraogo. Clear instructions from Oscar Barrow. It's a little agitated and animated on the sidelines. His team pinned back a touch at the moment. Not on the ropes, but certainly not in control of this semi-final tie. Over half an hour gone. We're 2-0 up already against Zambia by this point. Lifted in to a decent area, but just too much height over everyone battling in the middle. So Dabo frustrated there, I think, with the challenge. Rather double teamed by Bomba and Bert. Camera goes back to his keeper. Sinaba only finds the head of Barrow. Fane can't keep it in, so it'll be a Burkina Faso throw and a chance for them to hold on to the ball in opposition half for a touch. It's felt like a while since they've achieved. Continue to struggle to do so. Nicked away pretty quickly by Bert. Hopeful balls forwards for the most part at the moment for Burkina Faso. It's being worked forwards more thoroughly, more patiently by Mali. Trying to play it out from the back, and a high press from Burkina Faso. It's causing some issues and some possession. Touch scrappy the last few minutes. So the most talented squad, certainly, in this tournament. Reflecting the way in which they like to play, Mali have generally like to see a lot of the ball, hold on to it. Burkina Faso preferring to sit back and then break away. Coming into the semi-finals, Mali completed 1,361 passes with an accuracy of almost 80%. The best percentage among the semi-finalists. Whilst Burkina Faso had completed just A little over 400 passes in there. 3 group games, the fewest of the 8 quarter-finalists. Rather change that stat with 300 passes in the game against Zambia alone, but nonetheless, let's see. They're happy enough with the opposition holding the ball in their own half. 1 or 2 occasions in which they've employed the high press, conserving energy. What they know is a marathon, not a sprint. And a few slips. Timo Kobet, the latest. It proved costly, came just after his back pass. Here comes an attempt at a Burkina break, another slip. Barrett as well to just about haul himself back to his feet. Can't find Bagiogo though. Let's change of direction from Sumaila Fane. Here's Dembele up against Koulibaly. Turning this way and that. Fired it into Fane, but frustrating first touch. The move comes to nothing. Ultimately fouling Ali Kone. Both pretty experienced teams when it comes to this tournament. Experienced countries. Mali featuring in their 8th semi-final at the under-17 AFCON, the most of any team. Their 10th appearance at the finals, joint most with Nigeria. Reached the semis here for a 4th tournament in a row, and with 2015, 17 and 2023 have lost just 2 of their last 19 games at the finals. It's Burkina Faso in their 6th semi-final, which is the 3rd best behind Mali and Nigeria. Also did so in 1999, 2001, 2009, 2011, and of course, as mentioned, the most recent edition in 2023. Victory will see them reach their 4th final, take them level with Nigeria and Ghana for the most final appearances. They are one-time winners, Burkina Faso. Looking to make it 2 here. Barra, though, turns into trouble. Might drop kindly for Alassana Bagiogo. Went down. Referee blows, but it's not for a Burkina Faso free kick, instead for a Mali one. Check on both players. Bagiogo holding his head. And it was the ball which actually struck him in the face, not the boot. The backtracking Doumbia. Have left him a little dazed. Take a lot more than that to force him off, though. A special occasion. These players know the eyes of the continent, the eyes of the world watching. Chance to impress. Potentially earn themselves big opportunity. One of the world's biggest clubs. Likes of Arsene Wenger watching on. Imagine he's pretty well connected. There's a number of famous Africans who came through the Arsenal ranks under Wenger. Nwankwo Kanu, Laurent, Kolo Touré, certain George Weah, even. Certainly caught late there, Yusuf Dabo. And the other end, the other number 4, Beat gets his head more successfully to the ball. Sets away another Mali attack. Dembele has been looking lively in this first half. Another slip, which makes life slightly easier for the Burkina Faso defenders. Good running here. And a great shot. And the opener. Well, Soumaila Fane forces the issue and breaks the deadlock late in the first half. Adama Diafla unmoved on the sidelines. But his side have the lead here. Just a few minutes before half-time. The 15-year-old Fane, who hasn't looked the most threatening of this Mali front line, just kept on going, struck a venomous shot, and Ouedraogo could only parry it into the top corner. Young keeper might be disappointed with that, but Soumaila Fane won't care one bit. He has his second of the tournament. Most importantly, Mali's first of this semi-final. Well, it's been coming. They've had the better of this first half, certainly the last 15 or 20 minutes. And now Burkina Faso in an unfamiliar position. Have to fight back from behind here. They were ahead 2-0, as mentioned, in the quarter-final. And 2-0 up against Cameroon in the groups. 2-0 up against Egypt. Beat South Africa 2-0. They have never been behind until now in this tournament. Imagine Mali will now just try and slow things down. Ensure they reach the halfway point with this lead. Know the danger that lurks in this Burkina Faso team. Keita looking for Fane, and it's going to break here for the goal scorer. Dabo backtracking, but it's still Fane. He is eventually stopped by Ouedraogo. Diakite unable to flick that onto a teammate. It's been a frustrating first half. This time for the Burkina Faso number 9. Another foul on Dembele as we head into first half stoppage time, of which there'll be 4 minutes. Time yet for one more clear-cut chance. Dembele, who won the free kick to take it into the middle and onto the head of Suleiman Doumbia. Well over the bar, though. No worries on this occasion for Prince Ouedraogo. It goes long, and he finds his fellow number 4, Dabo. And here come Burkina Faso through Tapsoba, tries to lay it off to Diakite. It'll remain with the team in white, but Bagayoko running down a blind alley. Running into trouble. Oscar Barrow encourages his team. Seemingly had himself a yellow card there a little earlier. There is overly vociferous protestations. Ouedraogo looking for Tapsoba. He's been a little isolated though. Starved of service, both he and Diakite. Bagayoko takes that down brilliantly on his chest. Dangerous ball into the middle. Crucially, it was a Mali boot on the ball. Tapsoba throwing himself full extension. Giving away the free kick. Had to go for the ball. It's always unlikely to beat camera to it. The youngest player on the pitch, Abubakar Camara, just 14. And the youngest in the tournament. Still won't turn 15 until August. But looking in control at the back. Out of control, however, was that challenge. It will earn Lamine Siddiqui Keita a yellow card. Caught Diakite pretty late. Clumsy, ensuring that Diakite didn't get away with that left hand onto his ankle. Frustrated with himself. Another will have to now be careful not to pick up another yellow and miss the final. We've now just about had the 4 minutes of additional time, so potentially this free kick will be the final action of the first half, depending on how much the referee wants to add on. There have been a couple of breaks of play during those 4 additional minutes. Free kicks taken quickly though, and short down the line. 4 or 5 waiting in the middle. Ball doesn't come in though. Mali can try and break away. And there indeed, however, is the half-time whistle. Mali on top. Halfway through this semi-final. Soumaila Fane breaking the deadlock 3 minutes before the 45-minute mark. Frustration for Prince Ouedraogo to have parried it into his own net. Mali, however, deserving of their 1-0 lead. Analysis of the first half ongoing. There's still a long way to go. And this is still very much all to play for. Narrow margins. It was Fane who found the opener. but you would not bet against Burkina Faso finding a goal somewhere in the second half. They certainly wouldn't. As you can see, 65% of the possession went the way of Mali. He did dominate the ball for much of that first half. More shots on target as well. Burkina Faso only on top in terms of corners. But it remains in the balance between two of the heavyweights in this tournament. Join us in about 15 minutes to find out which of them will reach the final. Look back at the first half of this Under-17 AFCON semi-final between Burkina Faso and Mali. Two former winners of this tournament, two of the favourites coming into this edition. And they showed on many an occasion why that was the case during the first 45 minutes here. Free kick. Sailing over the bar early on. Worked out, and the shot from Bagiogo wasn't too far away. Pounding the ground in frustration. Bagiogo with the corner in at the back stick, and that's a big save by Lamine Sinaba. Great reactions off his shoulder, I think. Doesn't matter which part of it hits as long as it stayed on the right side of the goal line, and it did. Here's Fanny forcing the issue and finding the opener. Louis Drago only able to parry that into his own top corner. Mali had the lead late in the first half. The half-time score in Casablanca: Burkina Faso 0, Mali 1. back to Morocco for the second half of this semi-final between Burkina Faso and Mali at the 2025 Total Energies CAF Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. As the referee gets us back underway for the second 45. In the first, it was advantage Mali. Soumaïla Fane forcing the issue late on, 3 minutes before the 45-minute mark. Breaking the deadlock, a shot from range after forcing his way towards the Burkina box. Prince Ouedraogo will be a little disappointed, having parried it into his own net. But this Burkina Faso side been excellent. The stars of the tournament in the first 4 games. And this one is a long way from over. They have indeed had the most shots on target of any of the 4 semi-finalists coming into this round, 26 in total, and scored the most goals with 12. That is the most they've scored at a single finals, overtaking their 11 scored in 2011. That, however, is a yellow card shown to Abdul Ouedraogo. Right back, the latest. You have to be a bit careful now to avoid, well, missing the final if his side should make it there, and reducing their chances of doing just that by being reduced to 10. As we cut back to the action though, it's Burkina Faso with the ball in the final third. Bagiogo out on the left now, having switched wings with Issouf Bara. But as has been the case too many occasions thus far for Burkina Faso, no way past that resilient Mali defence. Also being overawed in the aerial battles, the height amongst the Mali defenders. Tiamoko Beat has been imperious once again, sending everything back in the direction it came from. Heads towards his box, so too Tunkara there and Doumbia. Well, just 3 minutes after the restart, we will get our first change. Off comes the captain, Fadil Barrow. Abdoulaye Junior Diaby on in his place. Not sure if there was a knock there for the captain, but either way, the armband moves on. A reshuffle from Oscar Barrow. Will it immediately have the desired effect? Diakite hangs onto the ball. Couldn't, however, find Diaby. '16-year-old still waiting for his first touch. The offside flag had gone up against Burkina Faso either way there. There's the first touch for Diaby. Doesn't quite find Tapsoba. Seems to be an attacking change though from Oscar Barrow. Diaby certainly more attack-minded than Fadil Barrow. A reshuffle in their setup. 5 attack-minded players. Half of the outfield players. The clear intention of finding an equaliser. Perhaps feeding the need to switch things up against this effective 5-man Mali defence. 3 central defenders and the wing-backs spending a lot more time back since they've earned their lead. The challenge there from Bagiogo was late on Konate. Dama Tiefla. Said in the pre-match press conference, we know this Burkina Faso side. We played them in the build-up. They press high, play with intensity, shoot quickly, but we're confident in our own strengths too. Rightly so. It is they with the lead at the halfway point here. He's coached several generations of young Eagles. Tiefla. This current crop now have the chance to counter-attack. It was an opportunistic effort from around the halfway line, perhaps inspired by Tapsoba in Burkina Faso's opener. Not such an impressive strike as what will surely go down as the goal of the tournament. Diaby, quick feet, but a little too quick for his own good. It's looked a touch uncertain there of the end game. Arsene Wenger watches on. Long throw from Ouedraogo, too long. Straight through to Sanaba, who will, of course, ensure that they tick ever closer to the 90-minute mark, and also ensure that Achraf Tapsoba uses a few extra calories heading over and then forcing you pick it up. Bit of head tennis, but Burkina Faso bring it down, get the ball under control now. Just seem to be green shirts everywhere. Can't find a way through. Said they like to sit back. Burkina Faso strike on the counter. It's been the way in which they've operated to great success thus far. They do have, or have won, the most tackles of the 4 semi-finalists. 84 coming into this match. And now it's going to be all-out attack, you feel, through to either an equaliser or the final whistle. To be wary though of Mali on the attack. Plenty of talent in their team too, as shown right there, brilliantly getting himself out of a tight corner bomber and then barreling on through to the box. Ultimately Fanny muscled out. Remains the difference between the two sides though, the youngster. Is still looking cool for now, as the referee has a word with Tiamoko Beat, one of 4 ever-present members of this Mali team. He's played every minute alongside Konate, Camara and Dembele. far higher number, I should say, of the Burkina Faso players have played every minute. Barra amongst them, sent into the middle by the number 7. Diakite and Bagiogo waiting, didn't reach them. Back on his favoured left-hand side now, Issouf Barra. Diakite. It's back now with the number 9, Barra. Koulibaly, disappointing cross straight to the boot of Beat. Brilliantly done by Lamine Sidiki Keita. Continues his run, so full of running, and the left wing back. On this occasion he's waited a little further up the wing, now forced to backtrack as Bagiogo sends it left, brilliantly taken down by Barra. Has 2 in the middle, the 2 you'd expect. Here's Bagiogo on the edge, trying to create the space for the shot. Koulibaly waiting. And his cross in. He's flicked away. And needlessly, you'd have to say Diaby gives away a throw. The final touch did come off a player in white, in which case a valiant attempt to keep it in. Less than valiant attempt to get the ball there from Mohamed Fofana. He's just a talking to from the referee. Catching Dembele, one of many to have done so. Part of the famous GMG Academy, or GMG, as would be the French pronunciation. Many a francophone youngster who started their career before moving on to big European clubs. GMG, of course, standing for Jean-Marc Guillou. Senior Mali star Souleymane Diarra amongst them, Sheikh Doucouré at Crystal Palace, Bassouma, Amadou Haidara. You wonder where this talented bunch of youngsters will eventually ply their trade around the world. Bagiogo challenging for that long ball, getting there just ahead of Bomba. There have been many a famous name in this tournament in the past. Very impressive list of top scorers in recent editions. Isaac Success and Kelechi Iheanacho of Nigeria shared the honours in 2013. A certain Victor Osimhen, again of Nigeria, top of the scoring charts in 2015. Has been scoring goals for fun at the senior level ever since. Dembele trying to delay the taking of that free kick. They are now back underway. Nicked away by Bomba. And he wins another free kick. Smart play so far from Mali in the second half. Ensuring there's no momentum. It's been scrappy in parts, and that will suit Mali just fine. Can't afford to let the game get stretched. give Burkina Faso and their very talented group of attackers more space in which to play. Suleiman Doumbia will send this free kick towards the Burkina Faso box. Wamba can't get there. It's going to drop for Dembele. He's bundled over. No whistle from the referee. Goes all the way back to Sinaba. That's not the best clearance from him. It was a fairly nasty clash between the two battling for the ball. One is Yusuf Barra. Can't quite see the Mali player just yet. Well, it was Barra who was a little late to the challenge. Clash there as well between Abdul Ouedraogo and Seydou Dembele. As Diafla watches on. Plenty of instructions being handed out on the sidelines. Up to Issouf Darbo, the man now porting the armband since the departure of Barrow. Darbo, who scored the opener against Egypt after a Tapsoba free kick was spilt, and also the hero at the other end, heading a chance off the line. Now he must lead his team back onto level terms in the final half an hour. Long ball is beyond Tapsoba. He's getting frustrated. 15-year-old gives away a free kick there needlessly. Timoko Bet just guiding the ball back to his keeper. There have been too many optimistic balls over the top for Tapsoba. Not playing to his strengths, not giving him the opportunity to shine. Yusuf Barra, side to Bagiogo. Those two now operating together on the left-hand side since Diaby was introduced on the right-hand side. Almost a 4-1-4-1 now for Burkina Faso. Darbo's forced to go back to Ouedraogo. It's a little short, too close for comfort, but did get there first. Here's Dembele, brilliant ball through for Fane. Was just beaten to it by Darbo. A Messi-esque touch and pass from the young man nicknamed Messi by his teammates. Seen as a rising star of Mali. Prestigious JMG Academy in Bamako. Dazzled in the qualifiers, was deservedly named the best player of that tournament. He's been near his best again here, constantly causing problems for the Burkina Faso defenders. Diaby this time, the guilty party. Late challenge on Keita. They've already scored more than in 2011 when they lifted the trophy. Burkina Faso, they're starting to run out of time here to add to that tally of 12. Dembele glides past one, and a second, doesn't get the pass quite right. It'll be picked up by camera. Keita returns it to Abubakar Kamara. His flick was towards no one in particular. Mali so aware of the danger of the Burkina Faso break. Players crowding around whoever has the ball, but it's ended up with Diakite. It was across the corridor of uncertainty. There was no one there to benefit. Koulibaly. Barra gives away possession. Now it's Mali who can try and break. Dembele sees the run of Bomba. Finds the number 9, wanted it back. But the striker just a little slow in returning the favour. Yellow card will be handed out for that foul by Issa Tunkara, the captain, latest Mali player into the book. Two number 6s coming together after Fofana and glided through the midfield. Away as ever by Bet. Continues to be a brick wall at the back for Mali. Anything in the air seems to find its way onto his head. Reads the game so well. Darboe tenaciously finds his way forwards. Bayogo out to the left. That was misjudged. Potential chance comes and goes without any real event. Yusuf Barra. Not sure if that was a cross or a shot, either way. It was heading for Rosed. Mali, though, now dropping deeper, inviting pressure, making a few mistakes. Ball given away there in their own half. Quickly won it back. Dembele does brilliantly to bring that down. And finds Bomba, who slipped it between the legs of Ouedraogo, but is denied by the other. Ouedraogo too close to the keeper. Not enough power on the shot. Great first touch. Second didn't quite match up. They could all but secure their spot in the final with another, you feel. It's been a free-flowing tournament, plenty of goals. A number of those have been belonging to Burkina Faso, as mentioned, most of anyone, but this has been a game of fewer chances. If they get one here, it's really gilt-edged in the final 20. They will have to take it, Burkina Faso. Fofana's cross blocked. Ouedraogo does well to shield that from Dembele. Darboe looks left for Barra. Collision there has taken two Burkina Faso players out of the game temporarily. Fortunately for them, it ended up back with Fofana. Not for long though. Bomba weighs up his options, Space in the middle here. It's Dembele. Get it back from Fane. It's tackled, but referee has paused the game anyway to go and check on the felled Burkina Faso player. It's Alassane Bagayogo who's down, holding his lower back. So falling over the top of Tapsoba. Must have jarred himself on the landing. There was the tackle from Darbo. Starting to get a little more animated now. Oscar Barrow to the final 20 minutes, knows time is running out. Bagayogo gets gingerly back to his feet. Must there be more changes coming sooner rather than later for Barrow? See how Barra shapes up over the next few minutes, whether he might need to be an enforced change. See how freely he can still move. And will Adama Diefla make it to the 90-minute mark without changing a single player once again? Just that change of goalkeeper in the final minute, heading into the penalty shootout in the quarter-final. Sinaba is currently 3/4 of the way to a clean sheet. Ouedraogo's long throw is dealt with. Bagayogo seems to be moving okay, leaping for that ball. Looking pretty comfortable as he landed. Battling away on the far side. It's Konate who gets the decision. They're frustrating their opponents here, Mali. Taken down by Fane. Knocked on, here's the shot. Dribbles beyond the far post, took a deflection along its way. Bomba's had his chances to add to his 3 goals in this tournament. That was one of the best. Tried to take it first time. I think it was heading on target until it came off the outstretched boot of Koulibaly, importantly so. If it might not be an idea to remove Bomba. It's a danger, of course, your number 9. Don't want to take him off, but on a yellow card, don't want him to miss the final either. Well, there you go. Now they might have to worry less about which changes they'll be making in the final 20 minutes. Mahamadou Traoré rising highest to that corner and doubling Mali's lead with a little over a quarter of an hour to play. Burkina Faso have huffed and puffed. They never blew down the Mali brick wall, and instead we get another at the other end. Great delivery in. And it was Traoré who leapt the highest. The 15-year-old puts Mali in pole position to reach the final. That's what it means on the sidelines to Diefla and co. They were starting to look a little nervy, Mali, but that will settle those nerves to no end. Burkina Faso now with an even more increased sense of urgency. They know they have to get one back almost immediately. Mali will now defend to a man. Barra spins away from Issa Tunkara. Bagiogo turning this way and that. Left Koulibaly though on the turf rather than either of the Mali defenders. Fane takes that in his stride. Eases past Kone and draws the foul from the centre-back. And if that's Ali Kone, this is going to be a second yellow card and a first red, and it goes from bad to worse for Burkina Faso. A 15-year-old Ali Kone hides under his shirt, a second yellow. His team looked to be coming on strong. Maybe making life difficult for Mali in the final 15, but suddenly they're 2 goals down and 1 man down in the space of a few minutes. A needless tug of the shirt spotted by the referee on Mali's first goal scorer. And how they could kill the game off with another if that was kept within play. I think it was. Ultimately the header goes over. Nothing left to lose now for Burkina Faso. They simply have to throw everything they have at this remaining 13 minutes. On comes Bomba, waiting. Fane trying to force his way through again as he did in the first half. Went down, didn't get the decision. One back by Diaby. He has space to run into. You so often see a 10-man team emboldened with a laissez-faire attitude of nothing left to lose. And that was a nervy moment at the back for Mali. Deflected shot almost dropped for Halidou Diakite. Another yellow handed out, this time to Bagiogo. Keita first there, acrobatically beating 2 Burkina Faso players to the ball. Here's the moment before from Soumaïla Fane, trying to wriggle through, taking on 1 too many in the end. Could have been a shout for a penalty in truth. The referee waved those protests away. It's the Mali fans who are all smiles currently. A little over 10 to play, 2 to the good, and an extra man. This is now theirs to lose. Tension simmering a touch. Burkina Faso looking frustrated. Another player enters the book of Abdul Wahid Hirawida. This time it's Mali's goalscorer Fane. Bagiogo looks to dink it back over for Barra, but out comes Sinaba. We'd love to claim a clean sheet. Seemingly time wasting or dissent turned Fane the yellow. Needless, but again, he can make it to the final whistle here without another. Won't have too much of an effect on his tournament. It's a miscontrol from Tunkara. Hands possession to Burkina Faso. Bagayoko putting a lot on that pass. Diakite did well to get anything on it. Ultimately, was falling as he made his way towards the touchline. Burkina Faso 2011 champions, team boasting a big name in Bertrand Traoré. Now closing in on 100 caps for the senior national side. Mali, two-time champions, back-to-back wins in 2015 and 17. In 2015, team featuring Sekou Koita beat South Africa in the final 2-0. They retain that trophy 2 years later in Gabon. Progressed through a semi-final despite Mohamed Kamara, another senior star now, missing his spot kick in the semi-final penalty shootout. Ultimately beat Ghana in the final. They look to be heading to another final here. Those 2 wins came after a few near misses around the turn of the century. Runners-up in '97. 2 bronze medals as well in the 2 tournaments after that. And failed to qualify for 4 of the next 6. Didn't progress past the group stage until they won in 2015. Missed the 2019 tournament, came back in 2023, reached the semi-finals again. And something of an all-or-nothing team in this tournament. Currently looks to be going more towards it being an all-star team once again. They will quite possibly be fighting for a 3rd title in the final, depending on how the next 10 minutes go. A double change this time. Adama Diafla does draw upon his substitutes. Ibrahim Diakite and Mohamed Diarra brought on for the latter stages. Dembele and Bomba make way. Diakite making his 4th appearance of the tournament. Diarra just his 3rd, and he played about 70 minutes in the competition thus far. He'll get 10 more here to show Adama Diafla what he can do, and if he maybe should feature in the final. You have to ensure they get there though first. 6 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Anything can happen in football. It's into the middle by Ouedraogo. Anything can happen, but it's just not quite happening still for Burkina Faso. To their credit, still full of running, doing all they can, despite a numerical disadvantage. But it's starting to tell. Here's Fane, options to his left. Can't find either of them though. Barra brings it away. That Mali defense just so well drilled. Endlessly frustrating Burkina Faso players. Diaby wins the free kick. Camera ushered away by the referee. Lamine Sinaba has done everything required of him thus far. Ouedraogo fires it in. There's another strong punch by the young keeper. Taken out in the process. He'll happily stay down for a few seconds. Might need some treatment as well. I think there was a fair blow to his lower back there. Strike the frustrations of Mohamed Fofana. Welfare of the players of the utmost importance, of course. Was caught late there by Tapsoba. Tournament's top scorer has drawn a blank so far today. He will play another game, of course, either way. A third place playoff to come for the loser here. They want to be fighting for the trophy, though, with 4 minutes remaining. It's looking increasingly like it will be Mali who does so. Another change for Adama Diafla. Off will come Lamine Siddiqui Keita. Well-earned rest for the wing-back. One of the toughest roles in football. That of wing-back, constantly running up and down. He looks fresh, though, as he makes way, replaced by Shekna Hamala Koulibaly. Fresh legs to help defend against the attacks down the wing from Burkina Faso here. Now or never, they're going to get one back. Ouedraogo brings it on all the way to the byline. Can't get the final ball across the 6-yard line. Good work in the build-up, but the final pass lacking. That has been the tale too often for Burkina Faso today. Diaby with the quick throw. He'll get another here. Tapsoba wins a free kick in a decent position. If they could grab one back now, it would considerably change the complexion of the final few minutes, whatever amount of stoppage time we are set to watch. Sinaba organises his wall. Can't rule out the shot even from this acute an angle. It will surely go into the middle, though. Bagayoko weighs up his options. There are plenty of them waiting in the area. Floated into a great area and onto the head of a teammate. But that rather sums things up for Burkina Faso. When they have produced the chances, they haven't been able to take them. Perfect delivery. Unmarked header for their number 9. But Alidou Diakite can't find the target with 90 seconds of the scheduled 90 minutes remaining. And that is now surely that for Burkina Faso. Diaby ushered to the corner. Combination of Camara and Tunkara stopped him getting any further. Those two proving particularly tough to get past. Now enforced with the fresh legs of Koulibaly in front of them. Diaby again. Cuts it back onto his stronger left foot. Decent cross in again. Who's there but Tiamoko Bet. Away again by the centre-back. 90 minutes are up. There will be 7 minutes of additional time. Bagayoko, however, I think is about to receive a second yellow. Like Ali Kone before him, only picked one up a few minutes ago. And Bagayoko throwing everything at that challenge. Desperate times, desperate measures, but it's got really desperate here for Burkina Faso in stoppage time. They are reduced to 9. Bagayoko encouraged off the pitch by Barra. That one perhaps a touch harsh. Genuine attempt at the ball, but he was beaten to it by Mahamadou Traoré. Mali's second scorer and Burkina Faso's second red card. A dream tournament for Burkina Faso. And their baby stallions has turned into a nightmare in the semi-finals. Barra still tries to create something, tries to do it all his own. Pounds the turf in frustration as it flies over the bar. He puts the ball on the spot, and Amin Sinaba hands a yellow for time wasting, having forced Barra to do that. But the glimmer of hope of those 7 minutes held aloft by the fourth official moments ago has surely evaporated with that second red card. Mali, 2 goals and 2 players to the good now. Another yellow. And a busy man this afternoon, Abdelwahid Heraouida. Frustration perhaps now getting the better of the Burkina Faso players. Fane caught late. Mohamed Fofana joins a number of his teammates in the book. "11 yellows in total handed out this game, 6 of them to Burkina players, 4 of them to the same 2. Diaby brings it away, having to do it all on their own now, isolated the remaining Burkina forwards. Lost a defender, lost an attacker too in Bagayoko. Mali had scored the fewest goals amongst the 4 semi-finalists, had also conceded the most goals amongst those 4. But they have looked in control for most of this semi-final. Still had more of the ball despite defending hard. They've given it away as well. Burkina Faso there. No salt applied to the wound on this occasion. Fane cutting inside, leaving it to the substitute. Straight to Ouedraogo. given away again. Good challenge, though, to his credit. Soufbara is everywhere. Has marked himself out as one of the stars of this Burkina Faso side, doing everything he can, giving it his utmost right through to the final whistle. It was always guaranteed to be a West African team in the final for a 14th edition in a row, keeping up the tradition. Dating back to 1995. The meeting here between these two. And Mali, it will be to head to the under-17 AFCON final once again. Into the final 60 seconds of stoppage time now. Two more cameos for those in green and yellow. Draman Doumbia making his first appearance of the tournament. And Moussa Djakine, who's amassed all of 9 minutes thus far. They're going to run out here late on. Off comes Fane, who set them on their way about an hour ago with that strike. Mali came calling, and he answered. Crucial moment in this semi-final tie. You say it's the best time to score just before the half-time break, and that has proved to be the case again here. Final whistle blows. Burkina players drop to the turf. Their run at the under-17 AFCON is over. It's Mali who will go to the final, looking for a third under-17 AFCON title. Their 8th semi-final, the most of any team. Where they reach the pinnacle of the tournament once again. Runners up once before, winners twice. They'll head to a 4th final, as Burkina Faso must settle for the 3rd place playoff. Well, tensions simmering. These local rivals, it's more amicable in the stands. Tempers boiled over once or twice. Frustration getting the better of the baby stallions. It's all too much for some. Consolatory words from Tiamoko Bert, who's put in another excellent performance at the back. And a well-deserved clean sheet. Along with his keeper, Lamine Sinaba, will he keep his place for the final? Wasn't one of the 2 keepers used during the quarter-final. But brought in here for the semi and earning a clean sheet. It's Soumaïla Fane, though, the man of the match.
Merci. Bon, je suis très content, Je remercie tous les coéquipiers. Bon, vraiment ici content, Bon, oui, je les salue. À tout mon cœur. Ouais, je les aime.
Vous restez là-bas.
Well deserved for the young man who set them on their way in the 42nd minute. Soumaïla Fane forcing his way through the midfield. A ferocious strike from distance, getting the better of Prince Ouedraogo. Well, following in the footsteps of their more experienced senior Mali internationals. These two also met at the round of 16 stage at the most recent senior AFCON. Mali winners there too. 2-1 on that occasion, 2-0 here. And they did largely dominate proceedings, particularly in the first hour. Burkina Faso threw everything at them from the hour mark and came close to threatening until that second from Traoré. It all rather unravelled late on, reduced to 9. And so it is Mali who head to the final and will await the winners between Morocco, the hosts, and the Côte d'Ivoire, winners of the senior AFCON. Will they reach the final? Mali will certainly be there. There is the other semi-final to come later this evening. The hosts welcoming the Côte d'Ivoire for what is officially semi-final 1, but will decide the opponent for this young Mali side.
Here, we're known for our sense of service. It's all about finding ways to support you. Day after day, doing everything